Yo, what's good, boys? Today, I'm doing my first ever guide video. I know a lot of you guys in the comments have been asking me to do stuff like this for a while, so I'm giving it a shot today. We're going to be doing a full pro smoke guide. I'm going to be walking through the operator, everything you need to know about smoke and how to play them. I've played smoke in competitive for all my teams. I'm typically the support player. I played in Challenger League, and I also recently played at a major. I have a lot of experience with this operator, and I can try to give you guys my favorite tips and tricks when playing smoke. Also, boys, real quick, I'm just going to plug my Twitch as one of the first links in the description below. I've been trying to consistently stream over there, so make sure you guys, if you're interested in checking me out live, go and check that out. I'm going to be also co-streaming the upcoming 6 Invitational, which is in a couple of days. So if anyone would like to come hang out and watch some games with me, please feel free to do so, and make sure you guys check out my Twitch. Also, make sure to subscribe here on YouTube. I'm going to be hitting the road to 10K. I'm going to be grinding out this next month of February and try to grind all the way to 10K. So make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't already. I would really appreciate it. And yeah, without further ado, let's jump into the video. Alright, so jumping into the first part of the video, the first section I'm going to be covering is the loadout plus the attachments. So for smoke, the default combination you're going to want to be running is the shotgun plus SMG11. The reason you run this as smoke is because you're going to be the main sight rotate maker, and you're going to also need to master the SMG11 as your primary weapon almost. For the SMG11, I typically like to run flash hider on my gun. You guys can choose to run muzzle as well. I've done it in the past. And then after that, I would just suggest running default vertical grip and then any scope of your choice. If you want to become a good smoke player, you're going to have to learn to be comfortable with this loadout. Alright, number 2, the next thing you need to learn are the sight setups. So the sight setups are a little bit more complex than just setting up the sight. So obviously as a smoke player, you're going to be the one setting up the bomb sight almost every single round. So you're going to need to learn and go through each specific map and bomb sites, make your default rotates, your default barbed wire, your head holes, your vert holes, etc. So that's going to take some time to learn, but once you actually go through and learn it, it becomes second nature for you. The next thing you're going to want to learn for these bomb sites are the default plant spots. This is almost as eccentric as callouts for the map as a smoke player. You need to learn where the bomb is going to be planted as a smoke player. You have to learn the default spots. You have to learn where the bomb is going to go down most of the rounds that you're going to play in. And then finally, as a smoke player, what you want to do before you jump into lobbies is practice your default smoke lineups. So for different maps, there's obviously different spots. So for different maps and different bomb sites, this can kind of get trickier as it develops, but this is kind of the fun part of being a smoke player. You're going to have to learn and grind out all these different smoke lineups if you want to master your smoke capabilities. For example, on Clubhouse, if you're playing CCTV and Cache, you're going to want to learn different smoke positions in order to smoke out the default plant spot behind the CC rack. This is a difficult smoke to throw. What I would recommend to do is just hop into a custom game and practice it in there. You can just create a local custom game and really bang out your smoke lineups. You're going to want to do this because it is important when you jump into a live game to have these under your belt. If you have these smokes under your belt, you will become an instantly better smoke player overnight. Other examples I can think of off the top of my head would be consulate, CEO window plant. You're going to have to learn smokes from over the meeting wall or through the meeting wall in general. Pretty much for every single map, there's going to be at least one bomb site where there's a typical default plant spot that is only viable to get stopped using smokes and C4s, and smoke grenades are essential to your defense. Alright, my third tip for smoke is kind of short, but it is important. You need to learn your position on the map, and if you're anchoring or roaming, you need to kind of learn how to play around it. Smoke is a viable roamer as well if you want. You can just run around with them. You can use your smoke grenades to cut off lines of sight. I know there's a lot of stigma around people roaming with smoke, but it's honestly not that big of a deal in ranked. You can totally run around and use them as a roamer. Alright, so now into the fourth section of the video, I'm going to be talking about actually using your smoke grenades. This is one of the most important things as a smoke player because it's obviously your entire kit, so you have to learn every single important detail when using your smokes. So initially off the rip, a smoke grenade lasts around 12 seconds. For these 12 seconds, it'll do damage for around 10 to 11, and then as the smoke grenade fades out to the last 2 seconds, it will no longer do damage, but it will still impair your vision partially. If you are using your smoke rotations to stop a plant or anything like that essentially, you should be looking at the clock as you can burn 30 seconds of actual denial off the timer. If you stagger your smokes every 10 seconds, you'll essentially able to deny any portion of the map that you choose, whether that's a plant spot, a room, a doorway. You guys get the point. The smoke grenades are used for two main purposes. It is not only used to damage opponents, you can also use it to impair the vision of your opponents. So your smokes have two different usages. You can use them as an aggressive style of smoke or a passive style of smoke. So like the different smoke usages, there's also different usages for what you can do with the smoke grenades. You can use your smokes before a push to prohibit your enemies from entering said area of the map. You can use your smoke grenades during the push, like when the bomb is being planted, for example. And you can also use your smokes to deny nice sight line. So if you throw it on a window, something like that, if an enemy's playing a window, you can throw it on the windowsill and they're no longer gonna be able to play that window as effectively. They're gonna have to back up if the smoke blooms outside, and they're also not gonna be able to have as great a vision as they would have had before. And then lastly, what I want to say is the biggest tip with using your smoke grenades is make sure that you use all 3 smokes before you die. It is okay to use your smokes early if there is a purpose behind it. For example, if you or a teammate is cut off by an opponent and needs help, you can use your smoke, throw it on the line of sight that you're being held by, and deny the sight line of the opponent. This is essentially like a get out of jail free card sometimes. If your teammate's stuck, you can use it to smoke off the area and he can run away. Alright, my next tip with smoke is probably the most important. It is the positioning and situational awareness of a smoke player. Alright, for this section, I'm going to be breaking down some of my smoke clips against Pro League teams and kind of breaking down what movements I'm making. And I'm going to be explaining to you guys my thought process and stuff behind it so you guys can kind of learn what I'm thinking in the moment and doing the actions that I'm doing. Alright, so this first clip is a pro scrim clip versus Wildcard, a Pro League team in the NAL. So in this clip, I'm playing smoke top red. We're in a 4v5 deficit and they're pushing construction over. The play these guys go for is they play to flash me out top red and try to run through the bomb site and kill my teammate on green box / cash. I'll let the clip play out now so you guys can watch it in real time, and then I'll come back and analyze it afterwards. Door, if you guys can hold CC window.
Use the CC window.
Bird. Flash my red. Run it through, I killed one. Trying to run through con. Flash me again, I'm smoking it. Yeah, smoked it.
Off to CC, off to CC! Plant!
CC killed me, I'm
Going down, I'm going down.
I'm coming up.
I'm soaking default. We're gonna walk through cash.
Default.
That was our kinda.
I'm walking up red. One con. Same on set of con.
One on breach.
One breach. Don't breach.
One on breach. Sophia was breach.
I'm swinging this guy.
Fight him.
I was on CC window. Reset. Yep. I'm gonna reload.
Where's bomb final?
The CC window, tuck left.
Hold on. I'm gonna.
You're not taking to the right and you hold the swing, one of y'all.
Yep. I got top. Hold that. Hold up.
No, Sens got it.
Nice.
Oh,
Beeno?
Good job.
Holy shit, bro.
Good job.
You're
Good
not
job.
smoke red player.
So immediately the first thing I do is when I see the flash thrown at me top red, I pre-fire the con door as a reaction, knowing that something they're going to do is going to happen. This is kind of an instinct you'll get with smoke. Whenever you get a flash or something like that, typically there's going to be some sort of action that follows this. Next thing I do instantly, after I'm flashed a second time, I throw a smoke on the con door. So that means that whoever is still in construction has to make a decision either to run through the smoke and push into the bomb site, or they have to stay back and cannot push with the rest of their team while I cut off that line of sight. You'll see me then pre-fire and check the smoke over just to double check if anyone ran through the smoke. My next step of action is to kind of get into cover because my teammates comment to me that they have flooded the bomb site. So I run down red stairs, and I'm also going to use my last smoke to smoke out the default plant spot. This means that the bomb will not be planted on default and they have to scramble and put the bomb down somewhere where it's going to be uncomfortable for them to have a post-plant situation from the main breach. Me and my Legion are then tasked in a 2v4 retake of the bomb site. I know from my smoke grenades that one is still going to be in construction most likely because I smoked him out earlier, so he's going to have to playing deep in construction, trying to hold my cross. And I also know that nobody can be on the default plant spot because it is smoked, so they're going to have to be either on the tuck door or by the CC window. After I kill that first guy, I know it's going to be a scramble for the remaining people in the bomb site. They're either going to have to play to fight me top red, or they're going to try to run away and I can try to get free kills on the fallbacks. I managed to get the ace, and I managed to also swing the Zofia here with the shotgun out. You'll notice right there, I swapped my weapon because I know this guy is pre-firing me, so I can play around my cover and use the area as my advantage. I go behind the wall, whip out my shotgun, and ultimately swing him, and he can't do anything about that. Now me and my teammate are tasked in a 2v1. This is a pretty simple retake, and you'll also notice that the bomb is planted in a weird off spot. This is because the smoke I threw previous in the round denied them planting the default spot, which makes this post plant extremely challenging rather than have the bomb planted on the default wall. Obviously the last player is on the CC window, so in hindsight this doesn't really matter too much, but if the player wasn't on the CC window and he was playing on the plat rappel, this round would be much more difficult than how it is now. And once we're in this situation, we just decide who's going to defuse the bomb and who's going to cover. I said I'll defuse the bomb. I take out my shotgun just in case I have to get off the bomb quickly. If he kills my cover player, I'll have my shotgun if he tries to jump in the window. But then my teammate ends up killing him and also kills me in the process. But that was a fantastic round using Smoke's capabilities and trying to retake the bomb site. This next clip was against Cloud9 Beast Coast just before they won the Manchester Major in the spring earlier this past year. So in this clip, we're in a 3v5 with 25 seconds on the clock. I do have 2 smokes remaining. Right now, me and Legion are looking for a pick downstairs to try to make this a 3 versus 4, which inherently makes the retake easier when you kill a player. I'll let the clip play out now so you guys can watch it in real time, and then I'll come back and analyze it afterwards.
Go mid door, Kobe. Wolf door.
I'm gonna help. I'm swinging wolf door. I'm swinging wolf. Oh, you got it. One secret.
I know, he's repelling up to CC. He's repelling up to CC.
Sophia secret, Kobe. I'm smoking default plant.
Everybody. After server. After server.
Let the push through cash.
Ball.
Let him push cash.
Bomb down.
Oh.
Bomb down.
Downstairs. Coming up right.
Walk your friend. Walk your friend. I got Beeno. Yes!
Oh my god.
Hey, why'd you throw the C4 so early?
The flashes start coming through top red, so in response, I use my smoke to smoke out the default plant here. Like in the previous round that we saw, using my smoke grenade to smoke out the default plant spot makes this execute way more difficult for the attackers because they have to pick an off plant spot, which is going to force a reaction out of attackers to either push or hold weird angles or stuff like that. I used my first smoke and I tried to fight breach here. I ended up killing the guy breach with my last bullet, which was honestly kind of lucky, but at the end of the day it worked. I then swing the Capitao with my shotgun out, kill the planner with my shotgun out, and managed to find the cash player as well. And then lastly, the last player comes up red. In hindsight, I probably could have tucked in this corner, but I ended up swinging him with the shotgun off of confidence, and it managed to work out, and I trade. So things to notice in this clip, you'll notice again how I was talking about smoking the default spot displaces the attack and forces a reaction out of them. This round turns from a default plant execute where the player can sit outside the breach covering his teammate to a complete scramble in the bomb site. The smoke forces the Capitao to move to a different plant spot, which forces a reaction out of his cover players to play way more aggressive because he's exposed to cash. With this reaction, the gunfights are way more in favor of you swinging the people in the bomb site rather than trying to fight a player outside on a breach repel or something like that. The most important thing for this tip, as a smoke player, you have to be able to use your map and the bomb site as your advantage. You want to use the environment and stay within cover at all times if possible. You are more often than not the most important defender on the map, so prioritizing your life is very important as a smoke player. And also, if you guys are playing with a 5-stack and ranked, you're playing with your boys, communicate to your team. I can't even think about how many times I've solo queued and my smoke player is just throwing the most useless smokes and not calming anything. If you're gonna smoke something, comment to your team if you're playing with your 5-stack. Say, I'm gonna smoke this, we can fight this. For example, if you're playing CCTV top red and the enemies are pushing construction side over, you can easily smoke the con door and then fight the breach if the breach is open, or vice versa. If the breach is getting opened, you can smoke the breach and then fight the door. So if there's 2 angles that are being pushed on top of you, you can deny one of them with your smokes and then fight the other one at the other time. Alright, so on to point number 6. This one is engaging your gunfights. As a smoke player, his kit is so strong with the shotgun and the SMG-11, you're going to have to learn the importance and value of when to use your shotgun and SMG-11. This one is more of a feel of the game type of tip. I can't really just explain to you guys when you should be using your shotgun. Obviously, if you're going to engage in a close range gunfight, then yeah, it's great to have your shotgun out. But sometimes too, if you're swinging an angle that the enemy could be holding a long angle onto you from, then it's best to have your SMG-11 out. As a smoke player, it's all about feel in my opinion. If you want to feel the round out and you want to have your shotgun out, pull out your shotgun. If you think it's best to have your SMG-11 out, do it. But make sure you're capable with both weapons. Don't just pick smoke and not be able to use the shotgun, right? The shotguns are some of the strongest weapons in the game, especially smokes. It is insane. So yeah, make sure you're capable with both weapons. Don't just choose one over the other every single time you go into a gunfight. All right, on to tip number 7. This is the last tip for the video. These are just the default mistakes that I see all the time as a smoke player. So this is what you want to avoid if you're learning how to play smoke and trying to become a better smoke player. 1, you don't want to overuse your smoke. If you're constantly overusing your smokes, you're going to get no value out of your smokes in the late round. You really want to think about what you're smoking. This is kind of like the previous tip because it goes more off of feeling. But if you're just throwing your smokes and wasting all your smokes in the first minute of the round, and then as the round progresses, they're opening all this pressure on top of you, you're not going to have any X factor to win those rounds. You're just going to consistently lose rounds, right? This one comes with time. Everyone's thrown a bad smoke before. I've thrown bad smokes at the major even. It happens. But if you really want to think about it, when you're throwing your smoke in the round, you want to think, what reaction will this cause the enemy to do? Are they going to have to disrespect this angle? Can they see through my smoke? Essentially, what reaction will my smoke cause from the opponents? That's what you want to be thinking about when you're going to throw it. The next default mistake that I see all the time is I always see smoke players in rank die with 3 in your pocket. Do not die with 3 smokes in your your pocket. This one's kind of contrary to the other tip I just gave. It's a balance, right guys? You don't want to just be picking smoke and swinging outside blue bunker with your shotgun in the first 15 seconds. You don't want to do that. Play smarter, and if you're constantly dying of smoke with 3 smokes in your pocket, you're just trolling. If you're just starting out with smoke and you're trying to get better, it's better to just throw all 3 of your smokes every single round and make sure you're using them. You might not get the craziest value out of them, but with time and practice, you'll start getting more value out of them and realizing when to throw and when not to throw your smoke grenades. Also, the last simple tip that I see all the time, do not throw smoke grenades to block off your teammates. Do not smoke your teammates off. Do not block the rotation. Think about the smoke you're throwing. Is this going to be harmful to my teammate if he's going to try to run back and come to safety, etc. Alright guys, and those were my 7 tips to help you guys become a better smoke player overnight. If you guys do enjoy this style of video, I'm going to be continuing to make kind of similar Rainbow Six Siege content moving forward and try to branch out from just my selective ranked videos. But yeah, I appreciate you guys so much. I'll be seeing you guys on Twitch for the streams if you guys check it out. And yeah, peace everybody.